I can't get enough of that. I can't get enough of that.
Say it again.
I can't get enough of that.
Okay.
What's going on, car family? I'm Ben Wayne. Thank you for joining me in another video. Today we're back at Atlanta Classic Cars and we're here to take a look at this 2020 Mercedes-AMG CLA45 4MATIC Plus Coupe. These cars are getting long names, I'm not gonna lie. If you look at the first generation CLA, if you remember that car had a lot of lines to it, looked a little bit blocky and a little bit unproportional. If you look back at this car, they've addressed all those issues. To me, this car looks remarkable compared to the first generation. It looks sharp and poised, and it looks good in this denim blue as well. This car features a black leather interior as well. Now, today I want to get into some of the exterior and interior details, take it on a test drive, and show you how this ride has been engineered for excellence, and also how it is the perfect entry-level AMG. Let's go ahead and get to it. Now, taking a look at the front of the CLA45, if you just step back and look at the design language, what car does it remind you of? It should remind you of its bigger brother, the Mercedes-AMG GT 4-door coupe. What an amazing car to remind you of, right? This car looks completely different from the first generation. I know I already said that, but I can't stress that enough. The difference is night and day. This is actually a good-looking car now. The first generation wasn't so much. Now, when it comes to the hood, you have these power bulges, and underneath the hood is that sweet new M139 power plant, putting out 416 horsepower in the S model and 382 horsepower in the non-S model. We really hit detail on the M139 power plant in a separate video, so if you haven't seen that, be sure to check it out. Now you have the Mercedes-Benz multi-beam LED technology. I love the slim look of the headlamps. It really just provides an aggressive look to the overall front of the car and complements this Panamericana grille extremely well. Now, of course, coming lower, you have AMG body sculpting, but this car is also fitted with the Aero package, which is going to give you these really cool looking canards on the side as well, providing stability and downforce up front. When it comes to the side profile of the CLA45, the most obvious characteristic that's going to jump out at you is the overall design language. How it has the sweeping roofline and just looks overall really clean, not too fussy with lines in the middle here. I really like that about the design. Now, this car does have the night package that's going to black out your side view mirrors and your window surrounds, but it also looks really good with these 19-inch matte black AMG cross-spoke wheels that feature rotors that have been cross-drilled and internally ventilated and grasped by silver-painted AMG calipers in the front and the back. Now, this car also features a 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive system with an electronically controlled differential, and it also features 2 multi-disc rear clutches per wheel that allows you to vary the torque distribution at each wheel, which helps enhance grip and also allows you to have the drift mode on the CLA45. Coming towards the back of the CLA, the roofline flows nicely into the trunk lid. Now, as part of the Aero pack, you get a decent sized spoiler here, finished in gloss black. Really just helps provide that nice aggressive look towards the rear of the vehicle as well. Now, your tail lamps, wraparound tail lamps, fully LED of course, and of course, since this is an AMG model, you get a nice exhaust system finished in gloss black, and as part of the Aero pack, you get a gloss black diffuser in the back as well. Let's listen to how this car sounds and then take it out for a spin. So I've been waiting for this car to come out for a while because I wanted to get to experience what that new M139 power plant feels like behind the wheel. And so far I'm impressed. This car feels solid. It feels real tight. You can tell this is an AMG vehicle just based off the suspension, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure as we pulled out, you could feel.
Yeah, I was ready to hold on to my butt.
So,
actually, I did.
But we haven't even, given it the full juice yet. So
full juice.
So Powering this car is a 382 horsepower 2-liter 4-cylinder. This is the non-S model. If this was the S model, you'd be getting 416 horsepower. Either way, that's plenty of power for such a small car. Again, that's coming from a 2-liter 4-cylinder. We did an in-depth review on that power plant. It's just so much tech has gone into that power plant. It's amazing, and you could truly feel the difference between this generation and the past generation. We'll get into that further. So what are your thoughts on the interior?
Well, when I first saw the vehicle, it looked tiny, right? It looked small. As far as the interior goes, you know, it's AMG, but I'm not sure yet I'm not sure. Like, there's certain things that, of course, scream AMG, the racing look.
Yeah, the racing seats.
You know, they have this new, like, panel here that's, what is this? Chrome, and
it's like,
you know,
I think it looks nice. I think it looks modern.
You know, and then the door handle here is pretty cool. But I feel like some of the other AMG models are maybe more specced out, or
well,
what
remember,
is it?
this is like an entry-level AMG.
Thank you, because I was going to actually say it looks similar to the other one that we reviewed that was like the entry-level,
right?
You know, trying to get into the Mercedes family.
The A-Class.
Yeah.
This is part of the A-Class lineup. So
okay.
The interiors are relatively the same.
Then that makes sense.
Right.
Okay, so look, I put it together and I didn't even know what I was in.
So this one definitely does have the AMG treatment to it. Like you said, you do have the Recaro-style racing seats in here.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the side bolstering, they're keeping you in the center. So you're not going flying all over the place.
Like that.
When you want to drive this aggressively.
Right. I think this is a good. I think this is good entry level to AMG. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty nice, and it has, you know, all the features that you need. Still the modern features. You still have the heated seats, the cooled seats.
Yeah, I actually got mine on right now. It feels very good.
But you also do have a 2-liter 4-cylinder, putting out all that power, connected to a dual clutch transmission, and we'll give that a go here in a second. So what I will do is make sure we're in the right mode. I'm in Sport Plus using AMG Dynamic Select, and then I'll switch it into manual mode.
Here we go.
So this car does have plenty of get up and go, as you can see. And that's from a rolling start, you know?
Yeah. I feel sorry whatever hit the window.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
It's amazing how using that AMG Dynamic Select, it could bring the car to life.
Yeah,
right?
it roared.
This thing started singing. I can't wait till we get to a stoplight and I can just grab gears from first gear. But that dual clutch transmission, I can already tell it's just able to keep up with you like that. See, I'm not even really leaning into it. And just a lot of get up and go. So this car goes 0 to 60 in about 4.1 seconds. So that's hold on to your butt status.
Yeah.
Now, if you get the S model with the 416 horsepower, you get 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. Not much of a difference, but it's still lightning fast, right? Is this enough power for you?
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Now, the suspension, you do get an AMG suspension in this car, as you should. This is an AMG model. You have a handcrafted engine, so it only makes sense that you get an AMG suspension. It's a little firm, but we're in Sport Plus right now. You hear that popping, snapping, crackling pop? We're dropping it in the first gear. You hear that?
I hear it.
This car is really fun to drive. It's as fun as I thought it would be. I mean, this was a really highly anticipated car because it's an entry-level model, right? This is something that, you know, you don't have to be a millionaire to have.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Has great handling too.
Yeah, it hugs the road. You got that 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive system, and it's able to vary the torque between the two rear wheels, so you can distribute how much torque goes to each one, and it really just helps improve the overall grip of the car. But shifting this car is like half the fun. I love grabbing gears manually. So let me drop it a gear. The handling on this car is superb. That's amazing. So enough of that for now. We're gonna switch it into comfort and then get out of manual mode. And as you can see, the gears change automatically now. I don't have to grab the gears by the pedals, and then the ride is somewhat comfortable. Do you feel the difference there?
I do.
So it's not screaming at you. So a high performance car that's daily drivable, and when you want all that noise, you know, it's there when you want to have all that. So one thing I like about this car is the steering wheel. It's been finished in Dynamica. Now this is a high touch surface, I'm not gonna lie. So if you have a car that's optioned out with like an Alcantara or a Dynamica steering wheel, you want to make sure your hands are clean so that way you don't age the steering wheel, because Dynamica doesn't take too nice to oil and grease on your hands, but it really does feel nice in your hands. It gives you an excellent sense of grip, which translates into having an excellent sense of control in this vehicle, which is something that's fairly important in an AMG model. I gotta drop it back one more time.
Drop it, drop it.
Goodness gracious, this thing sounds so good. This is a fun car to drive. It really is. And
I take it you would do that.
Yeah, I would.
You would.
I would.
Okay.
The only thing I might spec out differently are the seats. You know, there are some comfort seats that aren't these racing style. They're a little bit more comfortable, and you could, you know, say if you were getting this car and you were going to drive across the country or use it on road trips, you would want those seats for it. But if it's short spurts, you could have these.
That's right. This seat like fits my whole body.
It's the real deal. I mean, notice there are only 2 controls on the door panel.
Yeah,
you know,
notice that.
It's not as adjustable as some of the other seats that you've become used to in the other cars that we've driven. Now, the rear seating, I did take a moment to sit in the rear of this car. Since this is the coupe style vehicle, you are going to have to duck your head if you're fairly tall to get in. But once you're in, you're in. And I had about 2 additional inches of headroom once I sat in the back. And in the first generation CLA, that was not an option. So I'm 5'11" and it was able to fit back there comfortably. But if you sat in the first generation CLA, it'd be cramped even for you. So I like how they've made the car slightly bigger on the interior and made those improvements that, you know, you've come to expect from this caliber of a car. Now you are going to get all the traditional technology that you could want, such as the Mercedes-Benz user experience. So you're able to talk to the car, tell it to like cut on the heated seat or the ventilated seats, or ask it to take you somewhere. It is fully touchscreen, which I love about their modern cars now. And the touchscreen, again, is really responsive. Oh, there's even an AMG performance menu. That's pretty cool. And it's high resolution as well. So it's pretty easy to use and intuitive. In the center, of course, you have a trackpad. Let me go home here.
I feel like it's pretty simple. You know what I mean? It's not overdone. I mean, even like everything's pretty responsive.
Yeah. Yep. And one thing I noticed about Mercedes right now is that they're making all their AMG vehicles kind of have the same layout. So once you know how to figure one out,
it's the same.
You can use all the others. You know, you got the trackpad in the middle here. You have the controls on the steering wheel in case you want to change driving modes here. So again, I say this in a lot of videos, it's important to have multiple avenues to get to the same thing. If I don't want to use dynamic select, I can simply use this button here to change it, right? So if I want to go to comfort, I don't have to take my eyes off the wheel. I'll just change it here and I'm good. But the overall ride is, I thought it would be uncomfortable, but in comfort mode, it's pretty good. You know, it's pretty smooth. There is a little bit of road noise. You know, this car is the entry level. It's based off the entry level Mercedes-Benz. So there's going to be a little more road noise than the S-Class. But again, it's not really fair to compare it towards a vehicle that potentially starts out at least twice as much as this car. So it's a completely different experience from, you know, spending, let's say, 70 grand to spending 130 grand. That's just what you're going to get. So there is a little bit of road noise in here. It's not too much where it takes away from the experience. It's not bad. you know, it's pretty good. But the driving experience this car provides, I'd say, definitely makes it worth it.
Right. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. Again, on the interior, you have brushed aluminum finishes throughout, which really breaks up that black MB text. So it's not all blacked out. You don't feel claustrophobic in this car. So you do have some bright work going throughout the car. Of course, you have controls for all your windows and side view mirrors here, easy to reach, and then some storage on the door panel as well. Now, I will say that this isn't a full-size sedan, nor is it an SUV, so your storage capacity, you know, you're not gonna be taking a family of 4 with all their luggage on a serious road trip in this car. This is more so for an individual. You can put adults in the back. I would suggest no more than 2. People will tell you can squeeze 3, but that's not really comfortable for anybody.
Ever.
You know, so I'm not even going to say.
It doesn't matter what car you're in.
So I'm not even going to say, oh, you could fit 3 adults. I mean,
that was me, the person in the middle, and it still wasn't comfortable.
Still wasn't comfortable.
And they're like, oh, you're the smallest. That doesn't matter. Jeez.
Tell me how you feel about it.
So it was like that with everything. There's a horse over there.
This car just moves, man.
Yeah, that man was like, he looked up,
was
like, what's coming at me?
Yeah, because that exhaust system just sounds so good. It's gotten to the point where Mercedes-AMG literally makes anything sound good now. I mean, we're talking about a 4-cylinder engine here. Man, I can't get enough of that. I can't get enough of that.
Say it again.
I can't get enough of that.
Okay.
What an incredible machine. This is everything I thought it was going to be. Man. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
What an incredible machine. I mean, I could see cars in my rearview mirror just getting smaller and smaller, just leaving them in the dust. If I owned a car like this, I'd probably get into trouble. I'm not even going to lie. But, you know, it's like your CLA with a ton more power, better handling. You still get all the luxury, MBUX, panoramic roof. You get that sporty edge. I love the AMG finish up here. That just looks awesome. This car just looks ready to go.
Hey, Mercedes, take me to some food.
How can I help you?
Nearest restaurant.
Please select an entry.
There you go.
That's pretty cool. So,
Please repeat.
see, now you got her started.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Mercedes. Get off of you.
But just that quick, it was able to bring up different restaurants,
Did.
pizza places, Panera Bread. Everything's just easy. So it's not just geared for the driver to use. You can see how easily you were able to access that information and use it without
That's
even.
so great, because you know when someone says, hey, turn on your navigation, you know, and then you have to sit there, that person can just talk to it and boom, it's there.
Right.
You know?
Of course, this person, see, she just killed my vibe. But anyways, that's my thoughts on this car. The handling is remarkable. This is something you truly have to get behind the wheel to experience, because I
think it's really, really made well.
It really,
to be honest with you, for an entry level AMG vehicle, you know, I have no desire for it, but you know, there are women out there who like racing style to go really fast and everything, and this is good, you know, if you're don't need over the top with all of the full spec'd out, but it's good. Like I said, like you mentioned, the road noise is not bad, because I didn't really notice it until you brought it up.
Until I said something,
Yeah. So, and usually, you know, I do notice that. But like, this is loud in here.
Right.
You know, or I can't hear anything. So, overall, I think they did a great job for entry level. What's the price point of this again?
So the CLA starts at about $36,000, the base model. This car is about 70 grand, depending on options. The CLA45 AMG base price, no options, is around $54,000.
Okay.
So again,
what's like a regular AMG going for?
compared to a standard AMG,
Yeah.
you know, if you want like a E63 or something, you're talking 100,000.
Okay, so this keeps us at least 30 grand under.
Yeah,
right?
S63s, those things, depending on how their options. We reviewed one earlier this year, or maybe 6 months ago or so. S63 was like $200,000.
Okay.
So again, you don't have to be a multi-millionaire to have this car.
Right. That's what I was trying to, gauge what price range we're at. Because if
Right.
you're going to go out and get some of the other vehicles, but you want racing, you can do this.
Right.
If you're loyal to Mercedes.
Right.
So this would be a good starting point.
Exactly. And a lot of guys on my comment section, I see you guys out there saying, oh, I'm going to wait a couple years and pick it up on depreciation. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't want to pay like 80, 90 grand for a car,
it'll depreciate.
You could come in at like 45 and still have an awesome car. And to the average person, they're not even going to know.
Right.
Right.
And a lot of people who buy vehicles like this, they're not driving it crazy. So you will probably be able to pick up something with fairly good mileage.
It's easy to pick up something with low mileage. You see that car right there? That's the old CLA.
Oh.
And it looks completely different from what we're in.
Yeah.
That is the old CLA. Let me see if I can turn the camera so you guys can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that is the old CLA right there. And the difference to me is just night and day. Compared to this one, I just think Mercedes-Benz got the design. It's just on point with this car. Hopefully I adjusted the camera back correctly. But that's my thoughts for this car. I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. It truly helps us out.
Oh, and one other thing, if you are interested in really supporting this channel, make sure to not skip the...
Don't skip the ads.
There you go. It's just simple as that. That's how we're able to keep up our technology as well to provide you the best quality videos.
All right. One more quick pull. Oh!
Yeah. That poor Lincoln.
All right, we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Ciao.